Martins.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Grassroot Chats, episode 18. You may have noticed or you may not notice, we have a white guy on here today, ladies and gentlemen. Every now and then we have to get a token white guy. But we introduce you, Neil Hinder. And the crowd goes absolutely wild, apart from Mike. And of course, you have Mr. Thanos, Big Steve, and of course, the angry one, Mike. How's it going, people? Neil, you excited to be here?
Oh, mate, I'm more excited than Steve and Mike, I think.
All right.
They're just bubbling, I can just tell.
We're excited.
And just so that you know, man, Mr. Hinder is a Sheffield Wednesday fan. Boo! So hopefully we shall have a very wonderful perspective about Premier League football and top-notch football that we're used to. But we shall see.
It's the first time I've ever been booed for being a Wednesday fan. Like, literally, everyone's like, "Yeah, all right, that's fine."
All right, people, let's jump straight into it. Champions League draw was today, and of course, initially we had to have 2 draws. So they have released a statement saying that there was something wrong with the technology.
Shambles.
And that is why that they had for those funny draws. So initially, we all were excited to see the wonderful competition between Ronaldo and Messi. But that has now changed as Man United is playing Atletico Madrid. Big Steve, who's going through?
Atletico Madrid.
Huh? And you say that because?
They're just going to beat you.
Why?
I just think they're a better side, a better unit. They play well as a team. They performed very well against Liverpool. And yeah, I think Simeone is going to have them up for it. And I reckon they'll turn you over. Because I don't think that Ragnick will have you guys playing as a team yet. Okay,
good thing that you brought that up. Neil, what do you think about, first of all, have you seen, I've just been like, 3 games actually. But what do you think Ragnick will be able to keep the team or make the team wonderful for a team against Atletico Madrid, or will Simeone just, do his magic?
No, I agree. I don't think he's going to do anything. I don't think he's got the time to get him sorted for that game. It's too close. I think he has a philosophy to play the way that he wants to play football, and embedding that philosophy and getting everyone on board is too quick. Whereas Carrick would have been the safer option for now. He knows the players better. He actually got him playing pretty decent and quite robust.
Unbeaten.
Yeah. And then they've changed it. He's got a different philosophy. They were pants against Norwich. If that performance is against anyone else, right, you're not going anywhere other than home quickly.
Defend yourself, JJ. Defend yourself. No, it's coming for you.
I'm not defending. I'm asking questions. Mike, do you agree with Steve and Neil in terms of, first of all, do you agree that in a couple of weeks' time, the philosophy wouldn't have been embedded? And do you think Atletico Madrid goes through?
I hope Atletico Madrid go through. But with Champions League, with Man United, the team you've got enough star power to just pull something out of the bag, even if you're playing crap, which happens quite often. But you've got Ronaldo can do something crazy. Sancho can do something crazy. Cavani sometimes. So on paper and in most people's minds, Atletico should be, because they're the more efficient and developed team. But football and Man United being Man United, Ronaldo scores a hat-trick, gets a dodgy penalty, or Fred scores the winner, and then you go through. It's just, that's the way it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can tell the love Man United has on this show. Yeah, they're the great, wonderful love. But still, Steve, you did realize that Atletico struggled in the group stage. They literally just nicked in the last game. So, and they particularly haven't, rebuilt their squad as much. So you don't think, are you looking at Atletico Madrid from what they used to be before, or are you looking at the fact that Man United is not in form?
I look at the fact that Man United is not a team.
That's
the they're relying on Ronaldo pulling it out the bag, or one of the Rashford having a great game. Yes, he's capable, but I just think they'll come unstuck in the Champions League game.
If it's tight, you've got a chance.
Yeah, decent side. Can De Gea pull it out of the bag for you lot again? I just don't think so. I think on the European stage, the problems that Man United have will be exposed. namely central midfield, Harry Maguire at the back. I think there's too much exposure.
Surely playing a Spanish side that pretty much doesn't move the ball as quickly might suit Maguire. First of all, Neil, what do you think about Maguire? England captain. I know you wear your England hat every now and then, but what do you think about Maguire? And then what do you think he'll struggle against Atletico Madrid?
I mean, there's a couple of points. One that you said that Atletico could just nip through, and they did, to be fair, but their group was way harder than United's group. So I think that sings numbers for them. I think they'll be fine. I think that they play good football, good, hard, aggressive football. We're talking of like Stoke, but with skill. That's the level of aggression. And
wait, no.
And they're gonna do you.
No, come on. You can't be saying that.
No, I've just besmirched the whole of Atletico. With Stoke.
Do you mean the jersey or the way
I mean, like the way that they're aggressive, right? They didn't play like a normal Spanish team do. They're out to win. They're out to win every battle. Every 50-50 has got Atletico's name on it. And the problem is with United of that is they don't have that in them anymore. They don't have that talisman in midfield. Ronaldo is still a legendary player and he can pull anything out of the bag. Fred has had a few good games, but Maguire's pants. He does play well for England, but I mean, for United, there's like two different players, right? Literally two different players of how bad he's been for United. De Gea's been on form for you guys. So
Mike, with your obviously your biased self, you want Man United to go out. You're mute. You want Man United to go out. What do you think about Atletico Madrid being Stoke?
I'm glad I was on mute then because what were you saying?
What do you think about Atletico Madrid being Stoke? Though?
That's out of order. To be honest, you need to put some respect in their name. Listen, I heard David De Gea is going to put cement in his football boots so that he doesn't get stamped on again, like he did against Arsenal. Is that true?
I have no idea. I haven't spoken to him in a while.
No, but like if it's a tight game, 1-0 that, and I mean, there's always a chance for Man United. But if Fleck go there and do the job properly, 1 or 2 goals clear, 2 or 3 goals clear, sorry, then you're not coming back. You're done. You should be done. But Ronaldo, X Factor, Ranić, we don't really know what his philosophy is. He could do something mad. Last week he did a crazy formation.
No, his philosophy has been the same. It's
4-2-2-2. What is that? I've never heard of that.
4-2-2-2.
Yeah, it's the narrowest formation for a team with, other than Arsenal, 15 wingers, right? They're literally the most wingers in
Easy Tiger. What's he talking about?
Anyway, you're both Arsenal fans. Yeah. My wife's an Arsenal fan as well. It's fine. There's some love there.
But yeah, so that's a mad formation that I don't think anyone's ever seen anybody play. So you just don't know. But I mean, Atletico should come on. They should be beaten.
The thing is, I just think that at work, Man United, they'll just keep going.
No, the old Man United, but the Ranić Man United.
That takes a lot of to get aside from not working to one that's got to work hard and stuff. That takes a while to embed in the side, and you normally need fresh players to do that.
Well, to be fair, the thing with the work ethic is that everybody talks about, Liverpool this. It took Klopp about 5 years to get that team to where it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Pep came to Man City, which they already had a similar playing style under Pellegrini and all that. He still had to tweak it. So getting Man United in 6 months will be difficult. And of course, we shall welcome Suarez back to Old Trafford. So I'm sure he'll be up for it. Everybody will have to get like guards on their shoulder before he bites somebody.
It depends if everyone's going to be commentating.
No, I don't think everyone will be invited for that. For that, they might see each other in the tunnel and I just go. Well, everybody here believes Atletico Madrid will do us, as Neil says. So let's talk about the other English clubs in Europe. So of course we have Chelsea that's in there, and Chelsea is playing Lille. What do you think will happen, Neil?
I mean, it's got to be there. They've got to be pretty pleased with that, I think. Chelsea well organised. I mean, they're good in the Premier League, right? And at the moment, I think Premier League is definitely head and shoulders above any other league currently. I think as Spain's literally slipped into almost oblivion at the moment, I think the Prem's by itself. And yeah, Chelsea have got to be rubbing their hands of looking themselves to go through that. Like, I don't even think that's up for debate. I don't think anyone's going to think that Chelsea are going to get done that would be a hell of a weird night if Chelsea got beat. Like,
Over
they're on
2 legs as well.
fire. Yeah.
Over 2 legs. Though.
I mean, Lille are the French champions. They might. I mean, Steve, Chelsea look like they've been struggling for the last 2 or 3 games. Come Christmas, anything could happen. You don't give Lille a chance as well.
No, not really. Not because Lille struggling themselves. They're mid-table. They're struggling themselves this season. So I just don't see Chelsea turning up, having 2 bad games against Lille and not having enough to win it. To be honest, Chelsea don't concede goals, and they've
considered 5 in the last 2.
Yeah, 5 in the last 2, but how many they conceded this season? Normally, they're very, very good defensively. That 5 in the last 2 probably coincides with Kante being at the side.
Well, that could be a point. However, Mike, come Christmas break, and the French league will go for Christmas break for some time. English league will continue playing. Don't you think that might affect the legs come the Champions League?
That's the theory, but in terms of Chelsea, they've got a big squad, so I don't think. I mean, obviously there's some key players like Kante, the goalkeeper. Although Kepa's not terrible, what he is, but he's not terrible. And then they've got enough defenders. They've been playing without Lukaku and still doing bits and bobs. So they should really have enough in them. Even if Jorginho doesn't play, they can play Loftus-Cheek against Lille, probably get away with it. So I think they've got enough in the tank and in the squad to be able to beat Lille. Maybe not comprehensively, maybe not a showman's game, but win's a win, isn't it? And then you move on. So they should. I think all the Prem teams really kill the rest of the show, but basically all the Prem teams should go through.
Apart from one.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, apart from Man United.
Terrible. Well, we shall see. So, Man United, you guys don't believe we'll go through. Chelsea, you don't think we'll have an issue. So, Inter Milan, Liverpool. How about, I mean, your Sheffield Wednesday shirt is almost like an Inter Milan shirt, Neil. So are you supporting Inter Milan this time, or do you think Liverpool will actually get through?
I mean, I used to hate Liverpool, but Klopp, you can't not like Klopp, right? I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't want him as a manager at their team. I mean, you'd still want him there. Like before he went to Liverpool, he did that at your club, you'd be like, yeah, he's top. He knows what he's doing. And that Liverpool machine is so well organized. You know, they've had Van Dijk out. You know, the front 3 rotate. Firmino, he's just in another league of like, there's not enough praise that's on him because of Salah and everything else that goes on, but that guy just holds the ball up, looks for the passes. He's superb. Like Liverpool are through. Liverpool to the final. I don't think there's many teams that are as well organised and it's a good enough squad that they've got. I mean, we've got a transfer window as well for all of these teams to come in. They will struggle to get anyone out of the top. Obviously, they can't get anyone that's already playing in the Champions League. But yeah, I think that Liverpool are far too good. Far too good. And their youth seem to be decent as well. Like they're producing decent players. And Klopp knows what he's doing. Klopp's there for a while until Gerrard's good enough to take over. So I mean that's another 5 years. He's happy.
Steve, what do you think? Liverpool all the way to the final of the Champions League?
I won't go as far as going all the way to the final. They'll definitely be Inter. I think that Liverpool's problem is how the players come back, like Salah and Mane, come back after the African Cup of Nations because Champions League is February. So they'll just be back. They have ample deputy in Jota, Origi, and stuff to just slot in and keep going and doing what they do. And as Neil said, they are a very well-oiled machine. And they just keep pulling out the results. Klopp knows what to do to get the best out of his players.
Mike, I don't think I've ever seen any episode where 2 people are giving points and you're actually agreeing all the time. So you don't have anything against these guys.
No, that normally the other guys, AK and Karim, they're talking on the top half the time, but these guys are talking a little bit of sense for now. So yeah, so I'll leave them, to be honest. I mean, you can't really knock it. Liverpool should go through with the quality they've got. Maybe a couple of injuries or a free goal might deride them, but will they ride them over 2 games? I mean, you've got to say that's going to be exceptional bad luck that happens over 2 games. So you would say, I mean, obviously you won't know because it's Champions League. Inter could park the bus, go 0-0, one leg, get 1-0 the next. I mean, I can't remember the last team that stopped Liverpool scoring, to be honest, but I mean, it's always possible, but it should be a done deal. I already did the spoiler alert, so there's nothing really for me to add to it other than, yeah, you're right, Neil and Steve. Yeah, Man United gone out, I think, as well. Sure.
All right, cool. So Man United to be kicked out according to the boys here in the Grassroot Chats. Liverpool to go through all the way to the final according to Neil, and Chelsea should definitely beat Lille. And I just can see myself singing wonderful songs for at least half an hour if Man United goes through. Just prepare yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Prepare yourself. Well, coming back from European,
we've got until February, mate. That'll be a time everyone's away that week.
We shall see. Coming back to the English Premier League, and of course, a lot of teams are breaking out with COVID. Man United game against Brentford on Tuesday seems to look like they want to postpone it because of outbreaks. It's the highest amount of COVID positive tests in Premier League ever, 42 tests. So let's hope our wonderful, good run of football is not affected, and we hope all the players are all good. But speaking about the Premier League and everything that has gone through, so between fourth position and eighth position, there's only 6 points. And you have West Ham that drew with Burnley 0-0, leaving the door open for them to be chased. Man United that beat Norwich, Cristiano Ronaldo penalty. Oof, what a game. Arsenal that lost to Everton but beat Southampton 3-0. And of course, Tottenham, they haven't.
Where's AK when you need him?
Yep, and Tottenham actually haven't played. They have 2 games in hand, and they're 7th. And you have Leicester that with 22 points. So between those teams, there are only, as I said, 6 points. Ideally, so far, with the way the season is going, who would you pick and why would you pick to actually come the end of the season to be number 4 in the Premier League? I'll start with you, Neil.
Oh, out of those, I mean, I want to say it's a bit of a shower of teams to pick out of those that's going to scrape into 4th. It's almost a position that nobody wants, right? West Ham were the uniform team. Everyone knows that Arsenal have had problems. Spurs have had a really up and down season, and United again the same. Leicester, I mean, I don't know what's going on there. They're probably where they should be in any other season where we'd have expected Leicester to be, like just outside the top. I want to say that it will be Arteta. I think he deserves it. He's got a bit of time there. I think he's doing a good slow job, and given the time, he can turn it around and get rid of some of those players. They've got a lot of issues there, but I think a lot of those clubs have got a lot of disciplinary issues or a lot of players that think they're bigger than the club that need to move on. And I think that would probably be some good clear outs in January, especially with Newcastle having all the money. So the peripheral predators can go to Newcastle and earn big money. And that will help a lot of teams, I think. But yeah, Arsenal for me 4th. I think they'll scrape it.
I feel like, you only said like your wife's but just off camera.
No, she was on camera.
You better say that or else.
They played really well the other night against Southampton, and they haven't played. They've been really inconsistent this season, from what I've seen. They've done wonders. Signing a new goalkeeper. They needed it. I think they needed somebody in there that was more confident at catching and could command the defense far better than Leno could. I think that's key. Aubameyang needs to have been sold. Yeah. He is. I don't know what
we are gonna
he's talk hanging around too much, but
that, so don't go into that. Yeah, I mean, Mike is loving Neil now. Just like
Neil's a guy, man. Well, Neil's wife really is the one speaking. He's
he just get my Arsenal shirt on.
He just say what she wrote for him. But anyway, you know what?
Do you first of all, Mike? Do you agree that Arsenal will be the team that makes number 4? You don't. And do you also agree with? So Neil has actually given Arteta praise, a man that you love so much.
Yeah, no, I don't really like Arteta, man. But I mean, he's right about he's made progress. He's cleaned out the squad, but they're too inconsistent. I think he's the penultimate manager. He's the guy that sorts out all the crap, the cleaner basically, and then somebody else comes in and makes us elite. Unless he's there for 10 years or something like that, or 5 or 6 years, then yeah, he could make us elite.
So who do you think will make the 4th position then, if you don't think it's Arsenal?
I think it's Uselot, isn't it?
So who is that, please? Who's Uselot?
Manure. Manu. Menu.
Be professional, man. Be
or
professional.
but that's not a bad word. Manure or West Ham if West Ham can keep it up, but they've got a small squad, so I don't know.
Okay, first of all, Steve, I'll ask you this question. So Neil mentioned the fact that there might be a clear out in Arsenal in January, but that doesn't mean that he will actually get players in. So even if there's a clear out and the deadwood or whatever you guys call them all leave, do you support Neil with saying Arsenal might step up and they might finish fourth, or do you think another team will finish fourth?
I have concerns about Tottenham finishing fourth because they haven't actually done much, and their form's been, they just haven't been playing well. And at the moment, if they win their 2 games in hand, they go fourth. So I believe Conte will start to they'll get better under Conte. So there is a concern that as their form improves and they gel under Conte's system, that they'll get better results going on. I do think that Arsenal do have a good chance because they're the ones that don't have to play. They're only playing once a week. But I think they may have a bit too many internal issues to provide consistency into the end of the season, especially if you got people like, you got the whole Aubameyang situation, which everyone goes on about, but you got Lacazette in January, and Nketiah in January, who are all coming, strikers that are coming to the end of their contract. And Arsenal, I don't know if they have enough goals in them as a team in order to secure fourth position, even though I'd love them to, but I just think striker-wise, there's something lacking up top. But they do have a lot of talent, which kind of doesn't make sense.
Good point that you mentioned about Tottenham. I'll let you finish, and we'll go.
Yeah, so I'll probably go with the fact that it might be West Ham again. It might be West Ham. Sorry, it might be West Ham. It might be West Ham because they're a settled squad. They know what they're doing. They will have some hiccups, but they're a bunch of players that know what to get from each other.
Well,
they don't have as many question marks.
First things first, I'll ask Neil this because I think you answer with a clear heart. Do you actually think that COVID is a blessing in disguise for Tottenham? Because 1, maybe Harry Kane comes back to form. 2, is Conte the guy that will actually take them there? Or will the Conference League affect their form? What do you think?
I mean, Conte was a great appointment for them. And I think they must have paid him a boatload of money because when they approached him before, he was like, no. So they've obviously offered him something that they didn't offer him in July or June or whenever they were looking for a manager. He knows that the team's poor. I mean, he even said that they were poor. But there's no excuse. I mean, he's tried Delhi. Everyone's tried him. He's again another Newcastle player. Kane, again, in the Tottenham, he's given up. He doesn't want to be there. They should have let him go. I think that was one of their biggest mistakes that they've made. And he probably is going to bring them down more than bring them up. They'll play much better without him in the team. But it's a bold decision to drop somebody as good as Kane can be. But he's not playing for that team. He is. I mean, when I see them play, he isn't working anywhere near hard enough. I think they're too lazy. I mean, Son is a great player, getting pretty much anyone's team, and he's good, but he's wasted. Like no one else in there is anywhere near where he's going to be.
You think they'll make the top 4? Do you think they have an outside chance of making the top 4?
No, I don't think Spurs will do it. Conte is a great player, great manager, sorry. Unless he can get rid of a lot of those players, and I mean a lot, then they're not going anywhere. They've gone backwards for a good few seasons. Mourinho gets a lot of stick for what he did there, but I think he did well with what he had. The same as at United, he did well with what he had. I'm a big Mourinho fan. He's old school. He's hard. People don't like him from that reason, and I think he had done well. And I think they were almost, I want to say, overachieving. You can see what they've done since. They're a nothing club like United now. They don't want anything in they don't want anything in ages, right? Do you know what I mean? They should have let Mourinho win the League Cup, right? Or at least go for it. That was a mistake from their point of view. That would have been the only cup they'd won in like 20 years. I wish
Karim was here when he said that. It would have been a good rage. What do you think? So, Mike, what do you think about West Ham, though? Do you, because I think they seem like they're going to go a bit further in the Europa League. Is that going to affect their chances? And they also like the one thing they have that they probably share with Tottenham sometimes is they beat teams that you expect them not to beat, and then they draw or lose to teams that you think, they should get 3 points. So do you see them as an outside chance for the fourth?
Yeah, well, there's never an outside chance. I think it's between, on paper, it should be between them and best, to be honest. But yeah, right. When it comes to breaking down teams who park the bus, they're not as good at doing that. When it comes to playing a team who actually want to play, then yeah, they'll get those results. So they will more often play teams who park the bus than they will who come to play. And the moment, as good as they are, as high as they are in the league, so they might falter like they did last week. Hopefully, they falter on Wednesday as well. But then at the moment, they're the most consistent. So we'll see what happens in December. I suppose if December goes wrong for them, they can slip down, and someone else comes up. It's always key in England in December. So
well, we shall see.
Also, they have money. They're gonna have money to spend in January.
Yeah, but who can they buy in the market to improve?
The thing is with Moyes, he'll buy players that fits what they're doing. So he will actually.
You can take Pepe.
He's not going to
take Pepe. 71 million.
I'll drive him.
He's not going to take Pepe, mate. He's not going to take Pepe.
Take him.
So, consider now, I like that you said that. So nobody has even mentioned Leicester. Nobody even thinks that they seem like they might be getting back to form after an inconsistent start.
And they're bottlers.
And yeah, I think in terms of bottlers, them and West Ham are pretty much they seem to get a particular point and just let it go. However, in terms of the struggle for the top four and all that, I believe Arsenal's next game is against West Ham.
Yeah.
So is that let's start with I'll start with you, Steve. I'll start with you, Steve. How much of that game will reflect who's possibly going to finish? And I mean, I know there's loads of games to play, but with things getting up, down, COVID, you never really know what's happening. What do you see the outcome of that game? Number one, what do you see happening, and then how much more would that reflect in terms of the fourth position?
I see an Arsenal win, and it's more about Arsenal. It'll give Arsenal confidence and belief that they're in the right place and go in the right direction, because they finished so low last season. Whereas West Ham believe that they should be up there competing already. So I just think that result will be a statement result for Arsenal, because it's being one of the top four.
Okay. Neil, do you think, looking at Arsenal and West Ham, which team would you say has the better players?
The better players about that is Arsenal on paper. Like they'd have the better players, but they're not gelling as well as West Ham have. But West Ham will be frail because they don't have the strength in depth. You know, outside of that starting lineup, you start to go, that's a little bit worrying. Moyes has done great there, and he'll probably sign 3 players that no one's heard of before. And they'll be world-class players, and then West Ham will cash in on them at the end of the season or something stupid and ruin all their chances of top 4 football, which is probably the biggest downfall of them. That they sell too many players, the same as Leicester. You're in that constant regurgitation of trying to find decent players to keep them up. Arsenal, West Ham is going to be a strong one. I don't think it's a make or break game for either club. It's too early. I don't think either of them really consider themselves top 4 teams from that point of view. And I don't think beating the other one will make the blindest bit different. The games, the bottom 10 teams are the ones that they'll all be looking to win. The top 3 will run away from it, and 4 will be between those other 4 teams that will spank the bottom 10 teams in the league and get the results that way. They're all too inconsistent week in and week out, and that will change. Leicester aren't as good as they were, and that's again down because their squad's not big enough. You know, they don't compete on the same level. Arsenal are probably 3 players away from being a really good team, and West Ham are probably 7 from being competitive enough to stay up there each season. I mean, like you said, Arsenal not being in Europe is a godsend to them. You know, the break is helpful. It's not good financially, obviously, for the club and the fans, but a year out isn't necessarily a bad thing from that point of view. Getting back into the Champions League this season would be, I think, from any Arsenal fan, would probably find it maybe an overachievement. And really pleased with it as well.
Yeah, it's overachievement.
Well, so Mike, with you on that aspect, first of all, when you look at the teams, I know a lot of players you love at Arsenal, as in terms of loving them to see them go. Who would you, if you could steal certain players from West Ham, who would you take?
Rice.
Is Rice better than Partey and Lukonga?
He's better than the fucking Partey, pardon my French.
Is he better than Xhaka?
He's better than Fred. Anyway, look, the thing is this, right? If Arsenal beat Tottenham, if Arsenal, we will beat Tottenham. If Arsenal beat West Ham, it doesn't really show anything because West Ham's form is kind of form, isn't it? At the moment, it's kind of presumably temporary. Most times, 9 times out of 10, Arsenal should be beating West Ham. So it's just how bad we are at the moment that we're saying, oh, we're probably going to lose to West Ham. We're making a competition when we should be beating them anyway, normally. So even if we beat them, really, at the back of my mind, we're thinking, well, really, we're Arsenal, we should be beating West Ham anyway. I don't have a good season or two, but come on, we should be beating them really. So it doesn't show anything. And then this Arsenal at the moment can quite easily then go the week after and then lose to Wolves 5-0. So, you know what I mean? What can you really say?
Steve, Mike mentions that Arsenal should be beating West Ham, but I'm sure that's pretty something just the fans think. With this current crop of players, you actually think the players have that mindset, but the same mindset that you had like with Henry and everybody else on coming forward?
No, they don't have the same mindset because they haven't won anything and they're trying to prove themselves and actually create their own identity as a team. Henry and those guys was based on success and it was just them against Manchester United. Whereas in this league, you're battling, there's quite a few clubs that you're battling against. And Arsenal's going through a whole transition as a club. So, those players don't have the same belief as those guys before them.
Well,
they don't have the players to bring them up, do they?
No. That's why they've started from a young crop. And hopefully this young crop stays together and they grow. Yeah,
I think the old players will probably let them down a bit. When in the old days when you had Bergkamp and Henry, Vieira, Adams, that they had people for the new players to look up to and go, right, you know what, these guys are winners. They want to win, they want to play, and they want to wear the shirt with pride. And Bergkamp was amazing, but he would, they're helping out. But at the moment, you look at that team, and the problem I look at and go, other than Lacazette, is there the passion in there that you think of do I want to? You don't see it. The young guys have come in too much and played too many games, but they're good. They're doing well, and I think a period of time.
But if you take it a little bit further, we're always talking about winning stuff. Winning is very important. Obviously, that's the whole point of playing. But there are teams who haven't won anything or don't have serial winners in there. We'll take West Ham for example. They're not serial winners, yeah. But the older players or the more experienced players are pulling their weight. So for me, it's not necessarily about winning because Arsenal haven't won FA Cup recently. But after that, we hadn't won for a little while and won another FA Cup, but we haven't been really contenders. But it's just about putting a shift in. And as a senior player or a senior person, you're always supposed to look after the younger ones and lead by example. It should never be the case that your kids don't show you how to play football. You show your kids, what's this about?
Well, that's the point. Oh, sorry. That was the point I was trying to make. By winners, I mean winning mentality. I don't mean as in they've won loads. They've got that mentality, like you say, with West Ham and Leicester. They have the players that will bring other players up, and you'll look at it and go, he's putting in that shift. I want to play with him because he plays for the club. That's the one thing that I feel that Arsenal have missed.
Partey's there playing in his flip flops. What's he doing? Do you know what I mean? What's he doing? If you think he's on the beach, you're back in Ghana.
They haven't got the right. The experienced guys are not the right characters to carry the club.
Oba, don't get me started with him.
So don't worry, we'll get Oba at some point. Let's maintain the top 4 at the moment. So.
Sorry, JJ. One of the questions you asked earlier was who would Arsenal want out of the West Ham team? I think Ogbonna and Rice are 2 players in the Arsenal team that would galvanise that and really help out. Obviously, a new striker would be ideal, but 2 good quality.
I'll take Antonio over.
Mikel Antonio because of his work rate.
I just worried about his age. That was all.
Yeah.
Nobody. So nobody will take Jared Bowen.
No.
What over Saka? ESR.
I'm surprised nobody will take Suchek.
Over Rice. No.
No, you don't have to take him over Rice. I'm sure you can replace your entire midfield.
We got Lokonga.
He seems decent.
He's decent.
If he plays, he hasn't played the last how many games, which is quite surprising.
Well, we'll have down to your mate Arteta, innit? Saving him for
Who's made? Mine, no, it's Neil's made.
Saving him for Europe next season.
Yeah, I mean, guy.
So, but in terms of actually having a chance, and people talking about with Ralph Ragnick coming to Man United. So if you look at the fixtures Man United have: Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley, Wolves, Aston Villa, West Ham, Burnley again, Southampton.
Yeah. So what game are you going to win?
Well, Man United is not playing any of the top 3 teams till March next year.
Damn.
So is this a good run that can help Ralph implement that system and actually get the top 4 sealed, or do you just think we're not good enough? Steve, I'll start with you, Steve.
Not really, because the onus is going to be on United in a lot of those games to actually lead and be the dominant team in that game. So he may be able, and Man United's problem is not really with the ball, it's how they structure without the ball and pressing teams and stuff like that. And that's the style he's going to implement. So trying to implement that style against teams that may sit back against you might not be the easiest thing when you need to unlock defenses. Man United is still going to come back to Man United trying to unlock a team if they're sitting back. Who's going to do it? No Pogba, AK's mate.
Fernandez. Fred.
To me, Fred. Hey,
Fred is improving, man. He was my player of the week last week.
He can improve, but he's not that guy. He's not that guy. Yeah. And whether Fernandez ups his game and actually gets back to his form of last season, we'll see.
Okay, well, I mean, since Neil has come in and has been either bribed by his wife or probably scared of Steve and Mike. Well, this is the question here now, Neil. So Arsenal have West Ham, Leeds, Norwich, Wolves, City, Spurs, Burnley, and Wolves again. Do you, in terms of the inconsistency, do you see them going on a wonderful run, or do you think it might be hit, miss again?
I think that there's 2 points. One for the United, Ragnarok, I don't know what his name is. Thor, that was his name, right? They've given him a contract to the end of the season to steady a ship with a brand new philosophy on how to play football. That seems crazy in itself. Like, if they want someone to learn with him and they want to embed this philosophy, this isn't going to come in this season. That's going to be next, which is why I don't understand Carrick should be working closely with him.
Carrick decided to leave. He decided to leave.
No, I agree. But this is Man United, right? You don't just leave Man United because someone else comes in. Like, he's been there a long time, like a hell of a. You don't just leave the club and think you're going to do better. But that parking that side, I think that's a great decision if it was a long-term thing and going, right, you're going to be the manager for the next 5 years. Your philosophy is what we want. But a short-term contract and then that, I don't know who they want. All the decent managers are already at good clubs and are doing well.
So the thing now, the good Mike. So Gary Neville mentioned the fact that, as Neil said, 6 months is a bit funny. Steady ship, create the philosophy, then go upstairs higher, and then help the process of bringing in somebody that will probably fit that formation. Blah 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 blah. So now the question here is this. Well, we keep saying 6 months might be too small, or it might not be enough time, but it just be enough to implement the philosophy. If something looks okay and seems like it wants to be wonderful, I mean, he still has the 2 years option of going upstairs. If in 6 months Man United looks, wow, we can actually build on this, do you think he should be given the job permanently?
I don't care. It's up to Man United because basically
it is up to Man United. What do you think?
Because basically I think that they've got somebody in mind, whoever that is. I think it's Poch, to be honest, but it could be anybody. So I think he's going to do his 6 months, And even if he's doing well, he knows he's already got his plan. Like, I'm going to go upstairs. We're going to get Ten Hag or we're going to get Poch, and they'll just do all they can to get that person. And then he'll go upstairs. I think he's just there to do a job for 6 months, which is steady the ship, get philosophy, and then he's gone upstairs regardless. It's not a try before you buy thing. It's not dress rehearsal.
Yeah. But the thing is, he's not going upstairs though, is it? He's not going like He's not going to technical director. He's going to be a consultant.
Well,
that's still he's going to consult. He's
going
to consult in the process of making the.
Just start giving away free money, mate.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a strange one, right? And it shows how. I don't want to say little that United are. So it shows how much they've changed since Ferguson's left.
Yeah.
Like everybody would have wanted that job, right? Everybody. They want. You could have paid less than they're going to pay now. They've obviously got a lot of money, but they can't get somebody they want in.
Yeah.
And to go 6 months with someone else, well, why not just stay where you're at? I get the change. But the change should have been a long-term change.
I mean, you mentioned
a proper contract.
You mentioned money, so money would have been a wonderful incentive. It's also, I mean, if he's going to consult and try and help a so-called new process or new system, and he's going to be paid for it. 2 years, he probably looked at it and go, well, what's the worst that can happen here?
He's always wanted to manage in the Prem, though, hasn't he? That was his dream. He's always wanted to be in the Premier League, and it makes sense because it's the best league in the world. But does that mean that the new guy's not going to be manager? He's going to be head coach because he's going to be working alongside.
I think that Man United's position is that this guy seriously is an interim, and they're going to reevaluate everything come the end of the season. And it could be a case of they have a new manager, new technical director, and then Ragnick takes his consultancy role.
But in a way, here's the thing: this Ragnick geezer, it's a big picture thing. It's not about the 6 months. It's about building or rebuilding the Man United dynasty. So they're gonna have a philosophy. He's gonna go up to where.
But is it though?
Closet. Well, yeah,
because he's got a 6 month contract. He's got a 6 month contract as an interim, and he's just becoming. He's not saying he's going from this job to become the technical director or something. He's just going to be a football consultant.
Yeah, but what did he do at Red Bull? The other things. He's a builder. That's what he's been doing.
Yeah, well, I don't think his title was a football consultant. If Man United saw him like that, then why not say he's going to be the interim manager and then he's going to become the technical director?
But it doesn't matter what you call him.
Football consultant just sounds like the guy that you might call up every so often.
But it doesn't matter
what should we do this week.
I think you're looking at the term consultant in a very what's it called 9 to 5 kind of. You're looking at that kind of definition. He will be consulting. I doubt he will be sitting at home and somebody goes, you know what? Let's ask Ralph. I think he'll actually have like a proper role. But anyway, we shall see with time. The question I did ask was, if it goes well for 6 months, Steve.
No,
if
he won't take the job.
That's fine. You don't think he won't, but I'm saying
if
6 months.
If he goes well for 6 months, right, and they see progress, to me, not unless they've already got someone lined up, it would be stupid not to give him longer.
But he got the whole summer.
If he seems to be getting the philosophy in place, he's getting the club structure in place the way they want it, and there's progress, and he's done it in 6 months, you might as well give him a transfer window and keep going. If they haven't got someone already lined up to do,
but surely they have a plan for him. Surely this consultant role, whatever you want to call it, there's a definite plan and a job spec for that role. So if he continues doing the manager's role, then he's not going to be doing whatever they planned him to do in the consultant role, because he surely cannot do both.
What can you do in 6 months though?
More than Oli can. Get him top 4.
I mean, Oli ain't got a job anymore.
Well, yeah.
But 6 months to have been better. So he's there because he is the brain of Preston football, right? He changed Leipzig. So he goes into Man United with a squad that doesn't press, that can't press, that doesn't know how to press, and he's never going to embed that in 6 months. He's going to need. Even look at Guardiola when he went to City. Like, he had a shock, right?
No.
He had a good team. Now this guy's inherited what's probably not the worst team in the Prem, but one of Man United's worst performing teams that they've had in a while, right? And he's got that, and they're not going to press. They haven't got the players.
They're a lazy team.
Yeah, and do you know that is not going to work, and that's what concerns me more about this whole process. If he was there and given, right, you've got a 3-year plan, you're going to be manager. We want this football. We want to play like Guardiola. We want to be able to press them. Brilliant. But 6 months and then we're going to get somebody else in. Like, what, you're consulting who? If I came in and he was there and I thought I was a good enough manager, I'd be like, no, sorry, mate, on your bike. I'm here to run this club. I don't need you interfering. And that's going to be where
that's actually an interesting point, though, because the type of manager we're expecting Man United to get in the summer, be a Poch, are they going to come and work with him?
No, see the thing here, I think the mistake everybody's making with the consult everybody.
No,
every single
everyone, right?
Everybody.
So I think the mistake most people are making is that why do people think that because he's going to be a consultant doesn't mean he's going to tell the manager how to play or what to play?
No,
I think it's because of, as head of sports and development for other clubs, he helped them in the structure and made things better off the pitch. So if Pochettino or the Ajax manager comes and says, I want to play 1-1-3-5 or whatever, one of those funny information, I don't think he's going to go, oh no, I don't think you should do that. However, Steve, to end on the top 4 note, the question I want to ask is, because you believe there's an outside chance for, Tottenham. So they have 2 games in hand, and their fixture, if everything goes well, is Leicester, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Watford, Arsenal, Chelsea, and then Southampton again. Do you see them having an outside chance?
Yeah, they've got an outside chance because they're playing shit in there and the mixer still. Okay. I can't think of one, apart from the first couple of games on the Nuno, I can't think of any good bit of Tottenham season so far, to be honest. And when I saw the points that they had, and if they win 2 games, they're going to go in 4th place, I was actually a bit surprised, to be honest.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. Mike thinks Man United or probably West Ham. Neil thinks Arteta. I like how he says Arteta. He didn't even say Arsenal. He just said Arteta. And Steve, of course, believes outside chance for Tottenham. Well, we shall see. But staying in North London, I'll start with Neil because I know what the other 2 want to say. I know what the other 2 want to say. No, actually, Steve is a bit more positive when it comes to these kind of situations. Neil, should Aubameyang be told goodbye come the end of the season?
I mean, he shouldn't be told goodbye. He should be requesting a move, and he should have had that nous about him beforehand again. Right, this isn't working. Captain, I mean, Arsenal have I don't want to swear, but I've mucked up a few times picking captains. It's not working out at all very well for them. So maybe it's a captain's curse at the club at the moment, but he needs to go. He needs to find a new club for himself and for Arsenal, do the honourable thing.
Honourable? They're paying 350. What honour do you want?
Yeah, but he's sitting on the bench, right? 350 grand to not play because he's got attitude or disciplinary problems.
No. So they did say attitude.
He's falling out.
So you remember last season he was benched because of these disciplinary issues, simply because I think he came late or something to do with his family. So I don't think he's like,
Yeah, but that's an attitude still, isn't it? These are 350 grand a week. I'd be walking there the night before if I thought I was going to be late, right? Well, none of us have paid that amount of money, and there's nothing we wouldn't do. We'd get a private plane. We'd hire a chauffeur. My wife would give me a piggyback to North London, right? I don't care. You'd be getting there on time, even if it's a small thing. That shows that his level of commitment isn't great. And if it isn't, and he's not phoning up before and say, like, I've got this problem or that problem, then that's communications breakdown, which means he has got a lack of respect for the hierarchy in the club. And he was a fantastic player, and he was in his peak when they signed him. And that was a Man United move of signing a striker in their peak for a couple of seasons and then moving him on. He's unfortunately stayed a season too long, and that's his problem. And he needs to move on, and he will.
Mike?
Yeah, you know what? It's never about having the money, to be honest, because 4:30 in the morning, you see these cleaners going to Tesco as well, or the buildings. They're always on time. They ain't getting paid $350, but they're professional enough to get to work on time. It's just a level of professionalism, like you say, is to do with attitude, and he thinks he's better than or bigger than his employer, which he's clearly not. But yeah, he basically needs to do one, to be honest, because whack. And that's it. You're paying him the money. You're paying him the money. It's true, though, isn't it? You're paying him the money, and he's not performing. That's his business. You can't not be performing. He doesn't look like he's going to perform. All right, let's say the team not creating chances, so it's not all on him. Arteta has a part to play in it because they're not creating chances. But this dude's missing sitters, mate. If you're missing sitters, then who are you going to blame? You can't blame Arteta when you're missing open goals. You haven't been performing for at least over a year now. Whatever the reason, for over a year, Shocking. So just get him out, get somebody else. Let him go in January. Get somebody else in. I don't know why Nketiah is still there. He should have been sold to Crystal Palace for 10 mil. He's getting minutes now. What's that about? Who knows? Laka, all right. We should have sold him when we can make profit. Arsenal just a shambles when it comes to doing business, you know? Because we're going to lose so much money on free. We're going to get the free strikers and only be able to sell one.
Well,
it doesn't even make sense.
I think you're right. I think the business sense on the strikers has been woeful. Like, there's not been a good exit strategy for anyone to go and go, right, cut your ties. Didn't Nketiah have problems with Bielsa, like, for his attitude, and he wouldn't put the work effort in? And, like, if he's not doing it for Leeds, then there's got to be a problem there, right?
One second. Steve, please, say something that these boys haven't thought of.
There is a disconnect between Aubameyang and Arteta, because I do not believe that Aubameyang is the only player in the Premiership that's turning up late to things.
I'll move, Steve, man. Why are you trying to
it's not move. It's not moving. It's the way Arsenal handle stuff.
He's captain.
He's captain, but you don't need to come out and say it's because of disciplinary problems.
Okay,
you can say he's carrying a niggle, and we've rested him. To come out and say there's disciplinary problems.
It was out a minute.
It's twice. It's creating a friction. Aubameyang should never have been given the captain in the first place. He's not captain material. Arsenal went that wrong with the captaincy under Emery with his 5 captains nonsense. Yeah, at a club you have a clear captain and a clear vice captain. All this switching captains and all. He had Peter Cech, Xhaka, Aubameyang. Who else was in there? Oh, I can't remember.
The flipping ball boy, the kit man, they were captains.
Yeah, but he had 5 captains. Ramsey, he had 5 different captains. Yeah, and it could rotate, and Ozil was one of them as well.
But that's what happens, Steve.
But then he was dishing Ozil for his work ethic.
Yeah, but Steve, that's what happens when you let the players vote for a captain. Why the players voting for a captain? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, they can vote for a captain, but in a vote they're only going to come up with one. You're not going to have 5.
Well,
at the end of the day, the club's position from the time Emery introduced that was wrong, and Arteta had an opportunity to change it, and he didn't. And Xhaka done his stupidness, lost the captaincy, and he just by default they gave it to Aubameyang. They didn't look at
one second here, Steve. First of all, so are you saying, you know, that a man can refuse the captaincy, right? You know, you can say, I don't want this.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, there was a situation where they say, there were times, as far as I can remember, Scholes says, no, I don't want to be the captain. I'll be captain for a game if nobody's there, but I don't want to be captain. So if Aubameyang is him saying, I want to be captain, and you're saying not captain material, how does that affect the football, though?
Yeah, I don't think he says. I don't know if he said he wanted to be captain. I think he was the vice captain at the time when the Xhaka done his stupidness. So they just by default gave it to him. Should he have turned around and said, yeah, you know what, I don't want it? Possibly.
But in terms of sorry to cut you, but in terms of at the end of the day, however we want to spin a captain or captain, he's a senior player.
Yeah,
that's the key thing here. He's a senior player, so there's certain things you do. I know you like to see things in terms of, okay, there might be things happening off the pitch, but really is Arteta actually wrong for actually saying this man broke our discipline rules? So he has to be
no. I'm not saying that Arteta is wrong necessarily for doing that, yeah. But from time you do that, you're bringing a spotlight on the club, and it's already fractious. He's already under pressure for not performing, so you're just going to bring a spotlight on him again.
No, but it helps him be able to drop Aubameyang. It's easy now to drop. When he drops Aubameyang next, no one's going to question it or ask him any questions.
They will. They'll ask him a question again. It happened when the Tottenham game. When he didn't play the Tottenham game, they asked him, why did he drop him?
But it's given an easy out now.
Disciplinary problems.
But doesn't that tell a lot on the manager himself if the player keeps having disciplinary problems? I mean, if the guy has had like 4 or 5, you as the manager, he must reflect on you at some point.
Yeah, because if at the end of the day, if there's continuous disciplinary problems, take the captaincy away from him and give it to someone else. Because you don't want your captain to be promoting that.
But how's that going to stop him turn up late though? I'll still turn up late with him captain or not. If I were to do anything, I'll just turn up late the same way. Yeah, I'm just not captain.
But what I'm trying to say is, as I said, I'm sure there's other players in the league that are turning up late to stuff, yeah, and it doesn't come out.
I know. I think so. A lot of them get fined, don't they? And then
Yeah, you get fined, but it doesn't. I'm not saying that they don't get disciplined by the club. That happens internally, but for it to come out that it's a disciplinary matter.
We don't know he was late, do we? We just assumed he was late, right? He was.
He was. I heard that he came the next day. He wasn't even the same day, but
so it was a whole day's late training.
So no, he was in time for training, but he was late. He's supposed to come back the day before due to COVID protocols, blah, blah, blah. So he's supposed to come in. He agreed to come back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
He didn't come back till Thursday, which is still in time for training, but it's too late because of the COVID protocol. So he's broke protocol. He's not playing. Simple as that. He's playing whack as well. If the guy was scoring, it might be a different scenario. You probably make allowances, but he's been playing whack for donkey's years now. So
I'm assuming Arteta's using telling everyone because he's had enough and gone. You know what? I'm dealing with a player that doesn't have the right attitude for the club, and we don't want that type of attitude. If he let Xhaka back in the fold, right? After what Xhaka did, there's a second chance there for everybody, right? But they have to take that, and obviously Aubameyang is continuously not wanting to do it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with out in one player, and he's not blaming him for all the performances or anything like that. He's just said I've dropped him because there's disciplinary problems.
But to me, changes dynamic. With Xhaka done his thing. They stripped him of the captaincy.
Because it was in the public eye, right? Everyone saw him do it.
Yeah, but if Aubameyang's having continuous disciplinary problems, strip him of the captaincy.
But hold on,
and then see how he responds just as a player.
He ain't gonna respond to anything. Listen, he needs to make a statement. If you're the gaffer, you can't have your oldest child taking the piss, because all the other little ones are going to take the piss as well.
Exactly.
You have to make a statement and to do in the public eye even better. It was like, whoa.
But to discipline him, all right, you drop him for one game and you bring him back. Yeah, he's still the captain of the club. You don't want your captain of the club acting like that. You know what I mean?
Captain anymore. I don't think he's captain anymore.
Yeah, you don't want him. But if you keep telling everybody that he's injured and you try to sell him, everyone's like, "Hang on, he's been niggled for half a season. You ain't going to get anything for him, and no one's going to take him on."
The thing is, Arsenal can only sell Aubameyang, right? In the current situation, if they're not willing to take a transfer fee, virtually, because he's gonna want 350 grand a week. Yeah, so he's got that bit. The club has to be able to afford it. So it's down to what Arsenal want to accept as a transfer fee. Pretty much the same as the Mesut Ozil situation.
So just to be clear here, Aubameyang, how many years left on his contract?
He might have 2, you know.
Probably got 2.
Yeah.
And he'll be as old as me by the time he retires.
Well, okay, so just to close this chapter at this point.
Wrong podcast.
Neil,
nice plug though, JJ.
so Neil, you think Aubameyang should go knock on the door and say, "I think my time here is done.
He ain't doing that.
I'm happy to go." So that's what you think. Mike, you think get rid?
Yep.
Pretty much. And Steve, what do you think?
I'll say take the captaincy away from him and let him play under a different captain. Just let him be a striker and play.
So just tickle his balls a little bit and say, "Oh."
That's where he was happiest. Since they've given the captaincy, it's been like a noose around his neck, and the guy doesn't look like he can carry it.
Wait, hold on.
He's just not a natural captain for Arsenal.
So are you saying now that all of his shit performances are because the captaincy is too much for him? Is that what you're saying?
It's a really heavy arm.
Or what shit performance? Some people just don't respond to it, Mike.
No, is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think his performances will improve if the captaincy is taken away from him. Yeah.
Okay. Let us leave it on that note. I like the reason of the captaincy being a really heavy arm, though.
Last week he was saying it's because he had malaria and it was his mum.
No. You got to understand.
Let us leave it.
Aubameyang for the next 30 minutes now.
Yeah, let's just leave it here. First of all, let us talk. So with the fixtures coming up, you guys have already said with Arsenal, West Ham, I think everybody here picked Arsenal to win. What did you?
No, Mike didn't. I said Arsenal to win.
Are you using that pen to make notes, JJ, or just to look pretty?
I'm not using it to say what you guys said. I know Steve said he sees Arsenal.
I said Arsenal to win.
Yeah, you see. Mike?
To West Ham to win. That's why I'm not going.
West Ham to win at the Emirates.
Why not? Is it a 4?
Simple question. I didn't say why or why not. Simple question.
Yeah, West Ham to win.
Okay,
Hopefully it's reverse jinx. Hopefully.
God. Neil?
Draw.
Okay. Leicester Spurs.
Are they playing though?
Well, so far nothing has been said about anything. Leicester doesn't have any COVID issues. And it's at Leicester. So what do you think, Steve?
Leicester.
Scores?
Why are you trying to make it tougher? I will go Leicester 2-1.
Okay.
Who scores? And minutes.
Vardy's due, mate. He's been sitting on the warm in the bench.
Neil, what do you think? Leicester Spurs?
I mean, Spurs have had I don't know who's had COVID there, but they've had a hell of a long break, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
If they're not fit now and have learned what Conte wants, like they're gone. They're gone in 3 weeks' time. It doesn't matter which one of them. They're all going to be gone. Keeper and all of it. If none of them are understanding what Conte wants, they're all gone. So for me, Spurs, because they're going to be scared shitless. He is a scary man, right? If they've got to win.
Okay, and Mike?
I want it to be Leicester, but no makes a valid point. Basically, you know what I thought? Thinking in my head, I thought that I wonder if they really did get COVID or if it was some sort of random sort of play by Conte so that he could get more time with his team to get them trained up. So I think I'll go Tottenham in this one.
Okay.
I think I'll pull out the bag.
And Steve, so Chelsea, Everton, and Liverpool, Newcastle.
Chelsea to win. Liverpool, Newcastle at St James's.
No, Anfield.
At Anfield. I reckon hopefully for them it's under 10.
That's just
you've got probably the best attacking side in the league against probably a lower half championship defense.
Wow.
Lower half championship.
Neil, Chelsea, Everton, Liverpool, Newcastle.
I mean, Rafa's on his way out at Everton. That's a win for Chelsea all day long. And Newcastle, well, I mean, Christ knows what's happened to Newcastle. They were a team that people wanted to watch. Now they're a team people want to play against. He's right. That's a scary thought. That could be 10. Eddie Howe is not steady in that ship. That is gone.
Mike?
Yeah. Chelsea would do Everton and Liverpool will roast Newcastle on a spitfire, man. Big time.
I mean, they were poor the other night.
A little bit of salt and pepper on top. They're gonna roast them big time.
Okay.
But it won't be 10 though. Be like 4 or 5. It won't be 10.
It better be more than 5. All right. Player or flop of the week for the past weekend. Let's start with you, Neil. Start with your flop? Who was your flop of the week?
Can I pick a whole team?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Can I pick United? I mean, that was poor, right? I mean, they've got to win, but Ronaldo scored, but that was a poor.
Oh, damn.
Are you picking the entire team, even De Gea?
Yeah, I mean, they were saying he made a worldie saves. He tipped it over the bar. Like, I mean, I'm expecting any keeper in the Prem to save those. Like, really? when he's got man of the match away against Norwich, what does that say? Like, when you're, I mean, how bad was that coach journey down? Like, was it like 24 weeks? I don't know. I don't know if it was on coach journey and it's going to be on TV, but that must have been really poor for that. Like, no one was happy about that. Dion Dublin was on there. He even got himself off the BBC One, TV house show to go and commentate on it. Like, I mean, it was dire.
Yeah. And your player of the week.
Player of the week. I mean, do we have to go to Prem? Can we not go to decent?
No, but
I don't know. I don't think anyone stood out really this week as a top player. So I'm just going to bottle it and just have United as the worst, and then
yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's the first ever where one of our wonderful pundits has no outstanding player of the week. Mike, flop and player of the week.
Flop of the week is flipping Partey. He's flop of the month, to be honest. That geezer. Flipping there with his beach shorts playing footy. Not bad. Anyway, him, and then player of the week, whatever, is your doppelganger, Rudiger, yeah, wins 2 pens. Man's doing flipping pirouettes and stepovers as a centre back. What a player, mate! Come on. Then he gets into a scrap at the end as well. What a guy!
Knowing you, I know you like the fact that he got into a scrap, but more than
that's the best part.
Anything else, more than anything else.
Yeah, he's back in his boys, isn't it?
He's after his contract.
Yeah, he won 2 penalties. I'll tell it back. He's quality.
Steve?
Flop of the week. The referee in the Man City Wolves game, because that was nowhere near a penalty. Nowhere near a penalty. And VAR, that was ridiculous.
But there's one beforehand that should have been a pen, though.
Which one?
No, he hit. He leaned his
he leaned into it.
Yeah. That should have been a pen. So.
No, I don't think that was a pen either. I don't think that was a pen either. But his hand was here when he did that. I don't think it was a pen either.
Yeah.
Well, we should. Well, so yeah. So the ref.
Yep. And player of the week is Conor Gallagher.
Top way.
Crystal Palace.
Isn't he Chelsea guy as well?
He's playing really well. Doing bits there.
It'll be interesting to see. The commentator even said, interesting to see if they sign him or if he wants to stay after. But that was a good game. I mean, now that you mentioned that, my flop of the week is Coleman. Did you see what he was trying to do before Gallagher scored the second goal? I mean, you're chasing an equalizer, and you guys have some sort of rhythm. He gets the free kick, and Schlupp is standing in front of him.
He got angry, didn't it?
He tries to kick the ball so hard on Schlupp, and then he passes the ball to Conor Gallagher.
Oh, no. Other flop of the week. There's 2 flop of the week this week. Raul Jimenez, man.
I know that guy. That was so daft. I don't know what he was thinking about. And then he's leaving the pitch. He throws his headband on the ground.
Yeah.
He moves fun and do hey.
And he's clapping them.
I mean, you just cost your team pretty much. 2 yellow cards in 48 seconds.
Yeah. But I'll tell you something. Watch if you watch Match of the Day 2, they show like the most 10 comical red cards in the Premiership. There's some classics in there, mate.
I'm sure there is.
There's one when Keane just trying to punch somebody in the face.
No, the funniest one is Kieran Dyer and Lee Bowyer.
Oh.
They both get sent off for fighting each other on the same team, Newcastle.
Punching each other. And of course, my player of the week, I'm with you, Steve. Mr. Gallagher. Gallagher? Yeah. Playing good football. And I like that work rate non-stop. He's like a balling Robbie Savage, somebody that can actually play football.
You're not picking De Gea for his man of the match performance against Norwich.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to
I'm
tell
disappointed.
you.
Where's your flop?
I said my flop.
Who?
Raul Jimenez, isn't it?
Oh
No. That was my flop is what's his name? I just said it now.
Maguire.
No, not Fred.
I thought you put it to your back. I was wondering who you got in the back.
Maguire on my back, never.
But McTominay,
No, who did I say?
Wan-Bissaka.
You didn't say anybody.
No, I did. I said my flop, and then Steve added his. My God, I've forgotten.
I don't worry.
Oh no. Yeah, Seamus Coleman.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
See? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of Grassroot Chats, episode 18. Mr. Hinder, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
Very wonderful insights. And Big Steve, keep it real, and hopefully Aubameyang is not your captain. Mike, stay happy, son. Ladies and gentlemen, another episode of Grassroot Chats. Goodbye.